Well, Davos 2023 में बहुत ही बड़ा focus है India and the sustainable story that we are talking about. Focus of course energy पर है, renewable space and one of the leading companies of India यहाँ पर हैं. Mr. Sumant Sinha हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं, who represents Renew Power. Sir, thank you so much. Lovely to have you in Davos. And सबसे पहले जो यहाँ पर एक थीम है और हर बार हम क्लाइमेट चेंज, रेन्यूएबल एनर्जी पर जो फोकस करते हैं, इस बार हाउ इज इंडिया पोजीशन्ड एंड हम क्या एक बड़ा मैसेज देना चाह रहे हैं टू द वर्ल्ड बाय सेटिंग एन एग्जांपल सर?
देखिए, आई थिंक व्हाट इज़ नाउ हैपनिंग इज़ दैट इट इज़ बीइंग रियलाइज कि जो इंडिया ने जो टारगेट सेट किए थे 500 गीगावाट्स के, जिसके ऊपर पहले बहुत थोड़ा स्केप्टिसिज्म था, लोग डाउट करते थे कि कितना सीरियस है ये टारगेट. आई थिंक अब लोगों को समझ में आ गया कि भाई इंडिया इज़ वेरी सीरियस एंड नॉट ओनली सीरियस, वी आर एक्चुअली डूइंग व्हाट हैज टू बी डन टू डिलीवर द टारगेट्स. Exactly. So I think that is now very, very important, and that is why now with green hydrogen also, it's now become very clear to everybody कि भाई India is very much a
serious,
not just serious, we are actually setting the lead now.
अच्छा.
And we are meeting all of our Paris Agreement commitments. We have now taken the lead on the G20 as well. वहाँ पे we are providing leadership into this area. So India is now really being seen कि one of the countries that is really driving the climate change agenda forward. And I would really give a lot of credit to this, to the government and particularly to the Prime Minister himself, because he has really driven this almost as a personal agenda all the way from his days as Gujarat Chief Minister.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no doubt कि India spotlight में है, in a bright spot as they say, और हम lead कर रहे हैं in many areas including energy and power and renewables. Your company, of course, is a leading company in India. जिस तरह से commitment आप दिखा रहे हैं and participate कर रहे हैं in the growth story. Tell us, what is the plan? How is it looking like? The growth, the opportunity also for the world to see जो और companies हैं, technology partners हैं, जिनको जो देख रहे हैं इंडिया को as a place to invest in. क्या message है और क्या आप बताएंगे अभी तक ग्रोथ हुई है और आगे प्रोस्पेक्टिव ग्रोथ हो सकती है?
देखिए, आज के दिन वी हैव अबाउट 8 गीगावाट्स ऑफ कमीशन कैपेसिटी. करीब 5-5.5 गीगावाट हम और अभी कंस्ट्रक्ट कर रहे हैं, which will mean an investment of करीब 30 से 35 हज़ार करोड़ रुपया, which actually makes us one of the most sort of the biggest companies from a capex spend standpoint, which I think most people still don't realize. कि renewable companies are now becoming some of the top 10 companies in the country in terms of capital spend, right? And that really shows you the nature of the opportunity and the size that we've now got to. So isme, I think the opportunity that we're demonstrating in India is vast, clearly, because itna bada program hai. Very few other countries in the world have this kind of program. And now with green hydrogen also, जो भी 500 गीगावाट का जो टारगेट था, उसको करीब 1.25 लाख मेगावाट से और बढ़ाना पड़ेगा if we are to meet the green hydrogen targets. And government has a target कि India should also become an exporter of green hydrogen. So I think there are new facets of the whole clean tech, clean energy transition that are coming up.
Absolutely. Quickly, budget क्योंकि आ रहा है और सरकार ने हमेशा ये एक endeavor उनकी तरफ से रहा है कि इस एरिया को वो बहुत ही lucrative for people to come and invest करेंगे. काम हुआ है पहले भी, और क्या एक्सपेक्ट करें इस बार बजट में? आप क्या कर रहे हैं एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम द इंडस्ट्री स्टैंडपॉइंट?
देखिए, to be very honest with you, there's so much that the government is already doing outside of the budget. कि बजट के थ्रू कितना और हो सकता है, this is I guess Davos, that is something that remains to be seen, of course. I think देखिए, on the tax front maybe some more things can be done. For example, infrastructure companies का taxation rate is very high. Can there be group level taxation for infra companies? So I think mostly things on the tax front are things that can be potentially looked at.
Okay, tax front में कुछ,
because और काफी कुछ चीजें अलग से वैसे भी हो रही हैं.
Okay. ये साल 23, I mean we've kick-started it after 2 years of uncertainty to COVID के बाद पता नहीं था कैसे डिमांड वापस आएगी, but India behave very differently from the rest of the world. कितना सस्टेनेबल होगा ये ग्रोथ, कितना हम ये मोमेंटम कंटिन्यू कर पाएंगे? ऑफ कोर्स अभी तो चीज़ें अच्छी दिख रही हैं, डिमांड भी ठीक ठाक है, बट 23 विल रियली बी द राइट ईयर टू गेज दैट. तो आपका क्या सेंस है फ्रॉम दैट स्टैंड पॉइंट, बिकॉज ग्लोबल रिसेशन की भी हम बात कर रहे हैं?
I think India is actually structurally very well poised to have many years of very positive growth. Simply because through COVID we did not overspend, we did not give over fiscal stimulus. Our overall position remained reasonably good. Now also over the last several years, corporates have reduced their debt levels. Banks have improved their NPA position, so they're all in good financial shape as well. So all the elements, and plus domestic demand is now growing. So all the elements are in place for us to have fairly significant now growth over many years now coming up. So I think between now and 2030, I think you should look at India having 6 to 8% growth every year.
6 to 8%. Sure. And power sector, sir, उसको कैसे
Power
देख
sector
रहे हैं?
देखिए ऐसा है कि power sector तो grow करेगा ही because power demand is growing at 5 to 6% a year. So that will continue. So and by 2030, power demand therefore will grow by at least 50-60% over this time period. So I think growth is going to be very robust. It will be driven by renewable energy capacity addition.
Sure.
First of all, and then of course, as I said, clean hydrogen eventually will also come into play. So all of those things are really actually very good.
Okay, so this decade, as I say,
Yeah.
very promising decade for the
Yeah.
country, and I think we'll have to really participate in a big way. Quickly and finally, red flags क्या है? You know, you always have to be aware
sure.
and prepare yourself कोई भी eventuality
Yeah.
के लिए. तो हमने अच्छी बात और अच्छी opportunities तो देखी हैं, but challenges क्या हो सकते हैं? And how do we de-risk ourselves from?
देखिए, I think challenges अगर होंगे तो global होंगे. Global macroeconomics, supposing inflation does not go down in the developed world, interest rates have to stay higher for longer. That will suck liquidity out. Global economies might go into recession. Therefore, India's external sector might get impacted. So those kinds of things may happen. And then, of course, within India, there are always some risks, which I think are very low right now. Because I think on the election front and so on, I think it's very clear what's going to happen in 2024.
So we are looking good by and large.
By and large, we are.
All right, thank you, sir. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका. Thanks.